This is a rant video, but first, I just finished a jar of olives, and I was thinking, like, what can I do with this empty olive jar? I just can't think of anything offhand, but I might put my life story in it, seal it with wax, and then bury it for 100 years. Is this on? My phone's doing something weird here. I just want to make sure it's not being activated. There it goes. I must have bumped my headset. But anyway, this is a rant. But I got this. Well, I already did that. Yeah, so I've just been watching, I watch a lot of Bigfoot videos. I watch a lot of ghost videos, and I watch a lot of paranormal videos, cryptozoology. What else is it? I can't even think what else. But I watch them all. And I also watch debunking videos. Like this channel is called Beardo Gets Scared. He's a debunker. I also watch, where are my subscriptions? I also watch Gray. What's his name? Gandalf the Grey. I got too many subscriptions. I can't even find his name in the subscriptions. I thought they ranked in order of how often you watch them. But anyway, Gandalf the Grey, but that's not his name. That's not his channel name. But I do watch, the paranormal channels I watch are like Slapped Ham, and let's see. Where did all my freaking channel go? Oh, up here. Nuke's top 5 paranormal stuff. Christina Gomez does a lot of UFO things. She has a lot of different channel. Well, she has the same channel, but she does a lot of different shows on her channel. Slapped Hand. I watch a lot of missing persons things. They don't really resolve anything, and they don't put forth any kind of like theories or anything. They just talk about missing persons. What lurks beneath, things like that. Fascinating horror. The Paranormal Scholar goes through things. They don't really debunk, and they don't really go into paranormal hype. So a lot of these just like tell a story, and it's left up to you. What is that one called? Why do I have like 6 channels for Mr. Beast? I don't even know who that is. Miss Munchie. Yeah, I could tell when the kids get into my channels. But my gosh, what was the name? I just want to make sure I get the name of this one guy right, because he's really good, and I highly recommend him. Where is he? Oh, the World of, I just saw it. World of McGray. McGrey. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Gray. MRGREY, all one word. World of Mr. Gray. That's one of the debunking ones. And then I watch some of the murder channels, like Unsolved Mysteries that got solved. So I like to see how they got solved, especially after like 20 years, and then they'll suddenly get solved. A lot of that has to do with DNA technology. But I've been watching these debunking videos along with the paranormal channels. And it's so interesting. I always watch the paranormal channels first, and then I'll look up to see if anyone's debunked them. And a lot of times there are debunking videos for these, and it's so interesting. Like, you go back and look at the original, and you're like, oh yeah, this is right, this is true. One guy noticed that someone had out a smartwatch, and as their equipment was working, you could see stuff on the smartwatch, and it was like obvious that they were doing something through an app that affected their equipment. And I'm like, things like that you don't catch when you're just kind of watching it. But like when a debunker goes, you know what I noticed? Watch a smartwatch, and you'll see like stuff like beep now, and you'll see beep now, and beep beep beep. It's just little things like that. Masking. I'm not a video editor expert, but some people are, and they'll show you, like, see how this line is, and then it jumps to the left, and then it doesn't match up to the original line, and that means somebody masked something in Adobe Photoshop or whatever they're using. Or like, do you see this area here? This is where they blotted out a string or rope. It's really interesting to watch those. And I can't recommend them enough. And these guys, I was going to do a debunking or some of them do like a reaction video and then a debunking video, or one or the other. I was going to do something along that lines, but these channels all do it so much better than I do. But it's just, I just want to rant a little bit because it drives me crazy. There is no proof of life after death. You have faith that there's life after death. People believe they've been reincarnated. You have 100 religions that talk about life after death. Probably more than that. But it's like, there's no proof of it. There's nothing that proves life after death. So the first thing that gets me about a ghost hunter is I'll go there and they'll be like, oh yeah, we made contact with this spirit, and the spirit told us that they were buried in the basement, and they talked to us on their Oculus box or whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, and then you just walked away and went to your next one. Man, if you could prove life after death, I guarantee you a Nobel Prize. I guarantee you will be world famous. You'll be in every history book. But you're just like, oh yeah, I talked to the spirit and they did this and this and this, and they closed the door on me and they knocked the glass off the table. And then, I went home and went to bed. I'm like, okay, guys. You're taking something that's world shattering and you're just walking away from it. Okay. And then, that bothers me. If you think you got proof of life after death, let's make it, repeatable. Let's study it. Let's do something that will prove it. But no, you're just walking away, and then someone says, oh, look, there's a mask in this video, or here's a cut. I'm getting really good at spotting cuts. We're like, they'll look at a door and they'll pan this way, then they'll pan back at the door and the door's open. And you watch a debunking video and they'll show you when they were panning, boom, here's where a cut was, because the scenes suddenly jump or there's a cut. You can actually see it. And they scan back and now the door's open. It happens all the time. And even trusted videos, not trusted, but ones that I have trouble like debunking. I'll watch the debunking channel and be like, oh yeah, here's the cut, here's the mask, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. And I go back to the original, like, yep, it's right there in front of my eyes. But as someone who's not an expert, I don't spot it the first time. But I've learned now that, like, I can go frame by frame in a certain spot where they normally hide cuts, and I can say, oh yeah, I can spot where this cut is. So I'm getting good at that part. Masking a little bit, I can spot a mask for the most part. The line hiding tool, they said that there's a way of spotting when that's being used, and when they explain it, they'll show you how it's spotted. But I have a harder time with that. And then write out hoaxes, like they'll show, like, oh, here the door closed, but when it's open, if you look through the crack, you can see someone standing there. Just dumb mistakes by the people making the videos. And I'll write hoaxes like, hey, the three of us went, and then as they're walking, you can see four shadows. So there's four guys there, but they're talking about how three of them went, but now there's knocks and stuff. And they don't explain who this fourth person was. To me, that's just a dumb mistake by people claiming to make these videos. Other things are like, one thing that would drive me crazy is I can sleep in a haunted house 365 nights a year and maybe hear one knock, maybe see one door slam. And here's these people. This one guy was counting. He counted like 28 paranormal incidences in like 16 minutes of this guy arriving on site, and he goes, wow, this guy's like the paranormal king. Of course, he debunked a couple of them. He showed there was masks and stuff, and I'm like, man, if you go into a site and you can get 28 paranormal events happen in 16 minutes. You know, why are you working on your day job? You know, why don't you have a Nobel Prize? You know, get in on this. Oh, it just drives me nuts. That's why I'm ranting. That's my first biggest rant. The other thing is, well, I mean, there's lots of things, but the other thing is the equipment they use and the theories they use. Like, oh, ghosts are energy, so we can use this EMF meter and detect energy, and then we know a ghost is around. Who said that? Who proved that? Who came up with ghosts are energy? You know, if you go back to the 1800s and you read ghost hunter accounts, they say, well, ghosts are ether, and ghosts are from the ether, or they're made of, what's the stuff? Not the ether, oh, God, like I hate it. I hate getting old and words escape me, but like the protoplasm or ectoplasm, they're like, yeah, this is what ghosts are made out of, so we got to detect ectoplasm. If you look at old pictures, you know, from the turn of the century, every picture that proves that they're trying to prove ghosts will have ectoplasm in it, because that's what they faked back then. But now they're saying, oh, now ghosts are energy, and now we can detect them with EMF meters. Those are so easily tricked. This one guy was showing, you know, he set an EMF meter down, nothing. He texted himself, and the EMF meter went off because the phone broadcasting and receiving was enough to set the meter off. You know, you don't know what's going to set off an EMF meter. It could, I mean, of course, I'm surrounded by technology. I want to go crazy in here. But, you know, like I said, the one I just watched had a smartwatch on, and he had the EMF meter, and every time the meter went off, the smartwatch lit up. So there was some kind of text, something going into the smartwatch that was lighting up. And I mean, they were holding it like this far apart. So, it just drives me crazy. This is what I was going to say is, once a channel is debunked, once they're shown using a mask or cut, or some other trickery, to me, everything they do is trickery. Everything. That they're done. They're done in my book. This is like one strike, you're out. There's no three strikes. If you're faking something, you're probably faking it all. It's just a matter of finding out how you're doing it. So that's the other thing. Anyway, EMF meters, and they got other things. What do they call them? I just said the word like a minute ago. The REM pods and other things that detect presences. All be tricked. None of them are worth a dime. Some of them are disguised, like they put basically a REM pod in a teddy bear, and the teddy bear's lights light up, and they'll put the teddy bear down and say, oh, go near the teddy bear, and, you know, the teddy bear's lights light up. But you know, anything could have affected that. A plane flying, anything could have affected that and made it turn on. And they're like, no, it has to be close range. You have to be really close. And you really don't have to do that. Other thing, is it the Oculus that makes all the noise? I want to make sure I get the proper things down here. There's a REM pod, the REM pod. What is this one? EMF meter. Yeah, they're not worth anything. And the EMF meter comes in so many different forms. They got the little balls that light up when something's going near it. Remind me to talk about EVPs. God, what's that one called? Best Ghost Hunting Equipment. I want to make sure I get these things right. I think it's just the Ovilus, not the Oculus, but the Ovilus, which is supposed to like scan radio frequencies, and then the ghost is supposed to influence it to stop at a word. So you'll hear, they usually turn these on, and you can tell what it is. It goes, Bob, get out. First of all, How is a ghost going to know how to stop a thing on a radio frequency? Especially when you're talking about a ghost from the 1800s or earlier. They've never seen an electronic device in their life. How are they going to know, oh yeah, this stops on a radio frequency? I can think about a word and it's going to come out on it. Who did that? Who invented that? I would love to have a patent on this because this guy's making a fortune selling these things. Well, whoever it is, because there's all different kinds of brands out there. But it's such nonsense. It's basically a random word generator. If it's random at all, they can very, very easily be programmed. Any app that's on a phone that does this, programmed. It's just a random word generator. They take some phrases and words. They probably got this big long list of use these more often than a random word. Use get out, use cemetery, use dead. Those are probably prioritized words out of a randomized list, but still, it's dead. Like, how is a ghost going to influence that? If a ghost even exists. How? They never explain how it works. They just say, oh yeah, the ghost can influence it to make a word come out. How? That doesn't explain how it works. That's the most ridiculous thing ever. Oh my God. So many other things. They call them ghost box. Oh, EVPs. I was going to talk about EVPs. So many things can cause EVPs. I was watching a debunker after I watched the video, and the person said, "Did you hear that?" And it was like someone saying something, but the debunker pointed out that in the background, someone covers their mouth every time one of those words is heard. Every time the EVP picked up something, this person was covering their mouth. If that ain't suspicious, I don't know what is. Also, given the fact that, hey, why don't you have a Nobel Prize if you're talking to ghosts every night? And that's part of the whole thing too. Is how do these ghost hunters, everywhere they go, they get proof of ghosts. Everywhere they go. But no one else does. Just these people with Photoshop, with a YouTube channel, with money to buy all this equipment. Only these people are getting these results. Of course, you got the people that say, oh yeah, I saw the white lady walk down the road. That's one thing. I mean, that's just an experience that could have been anything. Someone dreaming, someone seeing someone really walking down the road. Someone believing they saw that. That's one thing. And I believe people who say that. But a ghost hunter who says, I saw someone walking down the road, my EMF meter went off, and I used my Oculus, and it went, shh, white lady, shh. So I know, oh, that just drives me crazy. So, yeah, don't forget I'm ranting. Spirit boxes, oh my gosh, look at this stuff. Ghost boxes, and like I said, anything that is on a phone app, absolutely fake, because those are programmed. There's nothing in your phone designed to detect ghosts. There just isn't. There's nothing in your phone designed for ghosts to interfere with. There's just nothing. Any app on your phone is just a program, random word generator, random ghost detector. Oh my God, I can't get over how people will pull out their phone and go, hey, I can use my phone, and oh look, it pulled up the word gray, and you're like, why? What does that possibly mean to anything? And then they'll have to, bend words around to the gray means something to their situation. Yeah, but every shadow person, everything can be explained in real life thing, and if they can prove it, prove it. Get your Nobel Prize. Get your face in history. Get in history books. Don't just have a YouTube channel where you go out every single night and prove that ghosts exist. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And then not only do you prove that they exist, but you prove they have an intelligence, that they can talk to you, that they can influence devices, that it just drives me nuts. Every once in a while, I will see something you can't explain, or the debunkers can't explain. It's just like I watched Truth or Fiction, and I think that's the one. But yeah, it's a really good show where they take, it's mostly UFO footage, and they'll explain it to an expert, and the expert will go, you know what, here's this UFO, but notice, that the sun is shining on this side of it, and on everywhere else the sun is shining on this side of stuff. So that has to be placed in the picture. There's no way you can have the sun shine one way on one thing and another way on another thing. Something about that picture has been manipulated. And every once in a while they'll come across one where they're like, hey, there's nothing that shows it's false. There's nothing that shows it's been manipulated. There's nothing that shows it was physically done somehow. So every once in a while you come across something like that. But those are the outliers, and those are the things that aren't using Oculus, and aren't using EMF readers, and aren't using REM pods. I think those are the big three. But man, it just gets so annoying. And I'm getting pretty good at spotting. Like, there was one a couple weeks ago where this guy saw someone peek around a tree, of course, shadow person, and he runs up to the tree, and he's looking on both sides of the tree, but there's one point where he's like jerking the camera around because you're looking for a cut, and you could see like a leg in a frame, and you're like, well, that's where he jerked his camera this way, and his friend jumped out, he jerked it back this way, but he just happened to get just a bit of foot in that frame. And I'm like, oh, I spotted that one. And I went to a debunker's channel, and they were like, yeah, look at this foot in this frame. And you're just like, oh, man, shoot, someone beat me to it. So I'm still thinking about doing stuff. I'm like, or just a reaction channel. It's like, how do they do that? Let's figure out how they did that. If you watch Beardo get scared, he'll sometimes look at something and can't figure it out, and then he'll see if somebody else debunked it. One was this guy that could pop his knee, and it took forever for someone to figure out that some of the knocks they were hearing was him popping his knee. And they were pointing out, like, here, look at this ligament on his ankle, and the ligament would move, and you'd hear the pop, and they'd be like, oh, a knock. And they were showing that this happened a couple times, and enough times to show that that's what was causing it, that's how they were doing it. But my God, I just can't get over the number of channels. And I'm mainly looking at ghosts. A lot of this there are some Bigfoot videos and some UFO videos and some cryptid videos that you really got to look at and go, what the hell is that, But those are things that are like out, they're not manipulated on the film. They're probably someone in a suit or just something that's misidentified. If you've ever seen a bear without hair, oh my God, Google that right now. A bear without hair looks wild. And if that was walking through the forest, you would think, oh my God, I've just seen the weirdest thing. So misidentification. But when you go into a building that's abandoned, and because someone claimed they saw lights in the window, or someone claimed they saw a ghost there, and then let's say they spend the night, so they spend 8 hours there, and in that 8 hours, they get knocks, they get shadow people, they get lights going on and off, doors slamming, a glass falling off. And if it happens off camera, there's just no way you can prove anything. Like, oh, they pan over here, here's stuff, and they pan back, and all of a sudden you hear a crash, and you go back, and everything's been knocked off the shelf. And you're like, that's not proof of anything. That's proof that someone knocked things off the shelf. But unless you actually can film that and show that there's no cuts or strings, show that there's no manipulations, it doesn't mean anything. And especially doesn't mean anything if you do it night after night after night, and you always get these really good results. And it especially doesn't mean anything if you've been caught cheating before, because that just means all your videos are now out the window. Yeah, that's my rant. I'm sure I had more, because I was watching these. Every time I was watching one, I'm going, oh my God, did they really think we're that stupid that this was real? And I'll page, I'll go frame by frame and be like, yep, there's a cut right there. I'm at least getting really good at spotting cuts. Or, here's where a mask is, and you can tell because, here's a line of of a bookcase, and here's the line of the bookcase, but they don't match. They match like this. So, you know, somewhere in there's a cut. And then when they stop doing it, they match up. And that's when they remove or not the cut, a mask. That's when they remove the mask. You know, you'll see it like this, and then they remove the mask, and it's matched up. So I'm kind of getting good at watching those. But I do enjoy watching them. What's this one guy I just started watching? Something about dash cams. Oh God, you think I'd have it right here, Nick Pope. Yeah, I've worked with Nick Pope. Documentary, no. There's some fun ones. Like if you watch this show called Boogeyman, and they go with the, you know, knowing that it's not real. And they'll interview people, and they more get to the truth through interviews. Like people going, oh, I know this isn't real, but it pulls in ad revenue. You know, they'll talk to people and get that kind of thing out of them. Or like, here was an event and everyone knows it was something else, but, you know, to get tourists to come in, they say it was this thing. God, what was that one guy I've been watching? Where did he go? I totally am spacing on his channel. There are some really good. If you ever been to Jazz Band Philippines, it's a live channel. I really support them because it was just this family that put up some live cameras, and now they're like this big deal with all these live. Didn't you know? Last time I looked at like 7 or 8 live cameras going. Beardo gets scared. One of the ghost places is Slapped Ham, of course. You know, Slapped Ham. Missing persons. Christina Gomez. I watch her. Nuke's Top 5. Of course, they do the show. The Y-Files. The Y-Files is different because sometimes I have a hard time reading them. Sometimes they talk like a story is real, and they'll present the story as real, but then he'll stop himself and then debunk the story on the spot. So you get like 2 halves. You get like the believer half and then the debunker half. But sometimes he doesn't do the debunking half, so I have a hard time placing him. You know, does he really believe this stuff? Watcher, oh God, I love Watcher. Let's see, Nuke's Top 5, the Y-Files, the Behavior Panel. If you're into body language, the Behavior Channel is a must-watch. World of McGray, he's a debunker. And again, he's World of McGray and the other guy I mentioned, Weirdo, whatever his name is, they want to believe, they want to find something that's real, and they will look for stuff that's real. And, but they haven't found it yet. And even the Weirdo guy claims that he's seen ghosts and stuff, so he believes in it. He's just trying to find a video that actually shows it, but he keeps finding, he calls cheating. And he really calls him out. At least when you watch The World of McGray, he is nice about it. He'll say, yeah, you know, I love their channel. You know, they got great, you know, he'll talk about it. The other guy just says, bullshit. This is cheating. These guys are liars. And wow. The Mini Minuteman. He debunks archaeological things. People who believe in ancient aliens and stuff, and he'll say, you know, the most famous one, I've seen this 100 times, is in Egypt drawings. They have the big light bulb, and they have someone standing there, and it's got the little filament thing up, and that's in every ancient video, ancient alien video. That's in every ancient technology video. Oh, here's proof that they had light bulbs. And they pointed out that if you scan up a little bit, and there's some hieroglyphics up there, it explains exactly what that is. And it's a representation of a lotus flower, and it's just the way it's carved into the stone. It looks like a light bulb. But the hieroglyphics explain exactly, this is a lotus flower. And, you know, if you look at the bottom, it's got the thing, and it explains exactly what, but no one pans up that little bit. They just show the thing as, oh, here's a light bulb. So Mini Minuteman points out archaeological things like that. Time Team, oh my God, if you've never watched Time Team, go watch every single one of their shows. Let's see. Ghost Files on Watchers, they are so much fun because they got one believer and one person who totally doesn't believe, and they just go and they have fun. And it's so much fun to watch. Oh, that reminds me of people who are so disrespectful, like going to a murder scene where someone was just murdered, their family are still grieving. I've seen this with celebrities, and people are like, oh, we contacted this person, and that is so disrespectful, and it's such an asshole move to go to someone who's still grieving and say, oh, we saw your child and it made the REM pod go off, and just oh my God, just stop that kind of stuff. God, the kids must have really been in my channel. I need to go through some of these. What's Shiver Paranormal? I can't remember. Some of these I can't remember if they're paranormal channels or paranormal debunking channels. I got so many of them. Mysteries of the Superstition Mountains. I love that one because it's a bunch of old guys talking about things that happened in the Superstition Mountains. Of course, Captain Disillusion. Oh my God, where is this guy? I just started watching him, so you would think he would show up high in my list. The Wi-Fi, what looks beneath technology connections is another fun one. If you're into technology, he just explains how things works, and it's things you've never thought about, wondering how they work. Like a microwave oven, he takes it apart and he'll show you how it works. It's just a really cool show. Why can't I find this guy? Maybe he got kicked off because he's always pissing people off. Lockpicking Lawyer. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy his videos. They are so well done, and he's done so many of them. And the guy can just pick a lock like it's nothing. Time Team Watcher, who's this Glorf guy? ZC, Connie. Come on, I know this guy. Where is he? No, it wasn't them. I just can't believe how many channels I'm subscribed to. Wow. Well, let me do it this way. Slap. Hey. And there's another channel, Fascinating Horror. They'll delve into like what went wrong at a disaster area, like if a dam breaks, what went wrong and how they fixed it afterwards so that future dam breaks don't kill as many people. Maybe I didn't subscribe to this guy. There's a guy who does dash cam videos, like the weirdest dash cam videos, and a lot of them have been debunked. He's just showing them and thinking, what is this weird thing in this video? And some of them are truly unnerving, but they got a logical explanation. God, I hate it when I can't find out. I'm spending half my video looking for stuff. I can't believe I watched this many people. I mean, I'm not even telling you some of the ones I watch. Kalazar or something. Alright, I gotta Google this. Let me see. Scary dash cam videos. Surely since I've... Oh, Maximum Fear. Did I ever subscribe to Maximum Fear? I started watching Maximum Fear over Christmas because he did some compilation videos where he put a bunch of his videos together to make like a 2-3 hour long videos. Oh, I didn't subscribe now. I subscribe now. Um, it's just, like I said, it's a lot of it's stuff I've seen before. It's either been debunked or it's just really creepy, or it's so far out there you know it's CGI or something. Yeah, he's a fun one to watch too, but he doesn't do any debunking. He just shows the videos, just like Slapped Ham or Nuke's Top 5 or some of them other ones. They just show the videos. Of course, the other ones like sensationalize. This is a ghost. We finally got a proof of a ghost, and then you're like, no, it's not a proof. But this guy like just shows creepy videos and doesn't make any opinion on them. So they're fun to watch just because if you like creepy stuff, that's a fun one to watch. All right, so my rant is over. I went through a bunch of my channels, but yeah, if you're a ghost hunter and you've talked to a ghost, prove it, and win your Nobel Prize, win your prize in physics, win your prize in whatever category they'll put ghosts in. Prove, bring the proof out. Go back to the same site and get more evidence. Show people how you get evidence every night without trickery. Take. A lot of these people, they'll take people with them sometimes, and then nothing happens, which is weird because why does everything happen when you're alone and you got video editing software, but when you bring people with you, nothing happens? And that's what's fun about the Watcher series, the Ghost Files and stuff with Shane Madej, and I can't remember the names, but just look them up. They're fun. Because they'll just go in there and there's no editing or anything like that. There's no masking. They just are like, one guy will hear a knock and the other guy will make fun of him for hearing the knock and go and explain it. And, if there's supposedly a demon in there, the one guy will be like, come on, demon, come and get me, and it's so much fun to watch. And keep in mind that I watch things because they're fun, but sometimes they get to me. Like some of the channels, the debunkers have actually dug into their channel descriptions and found for entertainment use only, or buried somewhere. And in certain countries require that if you do any editing on your videos. So you'll find buried way deep in there, like this is for entertainment purposes only. And then like someone like Slapped Ham or Nuke's Top 5 will get a hold of one of their videos and say, hey, look, here's proof of a ghost, and not realizing that they've already admitted it's fake. So, and then a debunker will watch that and debunk it and go, oh yeah, then by the way, they've also admitted it. Oh, it's just such a crazy, crazy thing to get into. But yeah, it's just, I just had to get that off my chest. I'll still watch them. I'll still watch, oh, my REM pod's going off, and I'm thinking, dude, you're sitting there on a phone. Dude, you got a camera and you're wondering why your REM pod's going off. You got 6 cameras on your body, all within these things. Why do you think your REM pod is going off? You're in a house with the electrical wires running through the walls. It doesn't matter. Oh my God. But anyway, that's my rant. Work is calling. Hey, do you know those groups for PIAs we add to? Yeah, okay. I gotta go answer this guy. But that's my rant. I'm ranting tonight. I'm gonna post this. I might take it down because it's just a rant. But I do have my olive jar, and this label is impossible to take off. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get like a razor blade before I put my life story in it. Anyway, good night. I hope you didn't listen to this all the way through because it's just me ranting. It's just me getting angry because, again, I watched the video and I'm like, oh my gosh, why do these people do this and not... There's no proof of life after death. So if you're watching a video and they say, I've talked to Bob. Bob said there's bones in the attic and... my REM pod went off 20 times, and my Xbox thingy showed a dancing shadow, and don't believe it. Just don't believe it. Just watch it for entertainment purposes only. Rant over. Oh my God, I went 40 minutes on this. 40 minutes ranting. I'm like, oh, I could feel it in my voice. All right, so I got to go. You guys take care, and thanks for watching.